Good evening and welcome to the Hope Chat. I am your host this evening. I am Angelia Stone, and I'm working on saying Angelia because all this time most of you or most people have been calling me Angelia, but my name, I'm owning my name, is Angelia Stone, and I like to welcome you to tonight's chat. And I'm glad you're here. So first, before I get started, I want to make sure I have to read this because our guest tonight is amazing. I met her almost a year ago. So let me introduce to you tonight our guest. Tonight, my guest is Miss Yolanda M. Smith. She is a highly driven woman who was born to break barriers. She proves that when powered by purpose, people are unstoppable. Yolanda is a speaker, author, and a success coach with expertise in personal branding and professional development. She's built her storied life and career brick by brick, something that I can attest to, fighting fears, failures, and setbacks to have the success she always known was hers to claim. Her passion for empowering others to achieve their highest potential led her to establish Branding for Success LLC, where she currently serves as the Chief BrandthrupistTM. She has earned her a Bachelor's of Science degree from Indiana University, Kelley School of Business in Marketing and Business Analyst, and she obtained her MBA with a healthcare concentration from Indiana Wesleyan University. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to bring our amazing guest back into the studio. And while we're doing that, please share the link, and I look forward to seeing you in a few minutes. Miss Yolanda.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you, Miss Angelia? I
I,
like, wait a minute, and give me the right one.
and Angelia.
Angelia. This is
Hmm.
important because your name is a part of your brand, right? And
And well, that's what all the brand ladies have been telling me. They say, no, you need to own it. And I was like, okay.
yes, don't let people call you by your wrong name. You correct them because that's your birthright, right? That's your
That's
birthright.
right.
Nice
That's
to
right.
be here, and thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure. We've had a opportunity to meet and then to do some things together, and it's just a delight to be here this evening.
I am excited for you to be here. This is definitely a great conversation, and I'm really glad that you're here to help us kick off my show, the Hope Chat Live, with talking about branding, because that's something that's really dear and something that I've had to take a step back and thinking that, like a lot of people, oh, I don't need a branding, I don't need a strategist, I don't need this, and then it's just like everything caves in. It's like, oh, I think I do need a brand. So you already know.
Yes, I do. I do. I do. That's the number one common mistake that most people make, thinking personal branding doesn't pertain to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the first questions I want to ask you then. It's like, how important is branding to someone's business or their vision?
So I would say to you that if we were talking 10 years ago, it may be one of those things that, yeah, it's important, but is it necessary? Given what we've gone through over the past several years, I will tell you today, in this environment, a personal brand is a requirement. No longer is it an option.
Wow.
And if you think about where we are, we're never going back to where we used to be. And so
Mhm.
we're going to live in a hybrid environment where there's live interactions, but there's still a great deal of digital activity that's taking place out there. And so it's
Mhm.
very important that you, as the individual, you as the CEO of your brand, is strategic and intentional about making sure that people can see you. You're approachable, you're searchable, you're discoverable, right? So it's key.
Mhm.
It's the buzzing right now. I remember years ago trying to help people understand what is a brand. Now people are coming to me, help me with my brand. So I think people are getting it. Yeah, they're getting it.
I had a whole text message chat today where someone reminded me, one of my girlfriends reminded me, said, Ange, I told you we've had this conversation 3 years ago about your branding and strategies. And it's like I'm going through this redo and this whole rebuild, and it all went back to the brand, because something that I didn't like to do, Yolanda, is I was fine with everyone else being up front. I worked the back, done it for 17 years, and I'm
Yeah,
okay with that.
yeah,
But having a brand and do it, you have to be visible. It's
yes,
very important. You think that your voice doesn't matter, but it really does. So
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
You have trademarked your own brand, so that we have to start out with the question everybody wants to know. And you have to make sure I say it right.
Okay,
What
I'll get
is a, let's see, what is a brand therapist?
brand therapist. So kind of
Brand
think like
therapist.
brand up, brand therapist, the brand therapist.
Okay,
Yeah.
therapist.
And I
Okay,
do that in
okay.
intentional because I don't want to be a therapist. Sometimes I feel like I'm one when I'm doing a lot of one-on-one coaching. You have to take it all in sometimes to really dig
Mhm.
through so people know who they are. But I actually coined that term, and yes, I did trademark it
Well, I
because
see that. I was like, okay.
yes, I trademarked it and just got branding for success trademark. We can talk about that a little later about how
Okay,
important.
that's our next. Let's talk
Yep,
about that
yep,
next time. That's the
yep.
next chat.
Yep, yep. But in this particular case, I really felt like it was important that my passion is to help, others achieve their highest level by unleashing the power of personal branding and really understanding what a personal brand can do for you, the benefits, the value that you can get out of it was so important. So I call myself the brand therapist, the person who gives the gift of authenticity, because that's where it starts,
Hmm.
so that
Hmm.
people can unleash the power of their brand so that they can have joy and success in this lifetime. So I'm the brand therapist that helps get
I
them.
love it. I
Yes.
love that. That's awesome. I would trademark that too. I
And it's
love
that
it.
thing that you say to yourself when you kind of think about a brand too. Do you want to just blend in and be like everyone else? No, you want to be unique. So what is that thing that's going to stop somebody in their tracks, right? You know,
Mhm.
I have a coach, Linda Clemens, who would say you have to get them at hello. So if I'm saying
Mhm.
who I am, the first thing that comes out of my mouth is I'm a people growth leader and brand therapist. And people are like,
Mhm.
brand what? Brand, what is that? That's what you want to say. Tell me more. Tell me more, right?
Mhm.
So you
So
catch.
how long, when did this all start? I mean, because I know you talked about maybe 10 years ago, and how when people, you probably were talking Greek and sounding Greek to everybody when they were talking about, oh, you need a strategist, you need a brand, you need a vision, you need all this. And when I started Hope, I had none of the above. I just had
Exactly.
this great idea. I
And
just had
that's how
an
it
idea.
starts. And that's
I
how
just
it
had an
starts.
idea. And I don't know. That's what I don't know. I was like, I just had this great idea, and I was like, oh, I didn't sign up for all this.
Exactly. You know, it's kind of like building a house. I remember I built my first home from the ground up, and oh my goodness, I had no idea that it
Hmm.
entailed making every decision, right? As an
Oh.
entrepreneur, you're making every decision, you know. But
Hmm.
I started branding in 2013. And I started it
Wow.
as I was the chair of a nonprofit for a organization called Girl Talk. And the goal
Hmm.
was to find some tools and resources that I could give them. You know, I didn't want to just sit there on the board and do administrative work, and I wanted to roll my sleeves up and get into the mix. And so
Hmm.
with that, I was able to come up with personal branding. And then I continued to research and study and became fascinated with it. And from there it grew. Well, the parents used to sit in my workshops, and from the parents sitting in my workshops, all of a sudden they were like, we need this stuff. If you give it to us, we can give it to the kids. And I'm pretty
Hmm.
intuitive and pretty smart. Been working in corporate America for a long time as well. And the light bulb
Hmm.
went off. I said, I think I'm onto something here. I can put
Yeah,
this
you
into
were.
it. Yes, ma'am. And then I started offering it to corporate professionals and then expanded it to entrepreneurs. And it's been very successful. I'm blessed. I'm
Wow.
gonna knock on some wood and thank God.
That's wonderful. That's a blessing because, especially in this social media age too. If you was like 2013, that's kind of when everybody was really getting on Facebook and
Mhm.
really launching their ideals and their dreams and things, or just even we had them, but then we were presenting. We didn't know how. Like me, I didn't know how to present it. It's like, what is a vision? What do I mean? What do you
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
And so I think this for everyone that's listening or watching. When I tell you this is probably one of the key and the best components that it's been shifting, it's just actually being able to be in front with your brand and who you are, because that's what sells. That's what people
Yes.
really buy into.
Yes.
And when you say I'm being authentic, that's what people buy into first as well. So yeah.
And that's the first step of it. I have 5 essential steps to a powerful brand. And the
Hmm.
first step is that authenticity. I mean, who are
Hmm.
you? How are you showing up? Because if you think about it, connection is the new currency, and it's all about
Hmm.
building connection and relationship. And so if you are coming to your job or going out into the world and you feel like you've got to transform to be accepted or to be what you think they want you to be successful, it's not a good thing because it's not sustainable. You're not going to be satisfied. And therefore, you're not operating at your optimal best. There's just no way, that you
Hmm.
could do that. So that is the first step of really understanding that. And, you said it best. Entrepreneurs oftentimes come up with that great idea, and there's nothing wrong with that great idea, but they
Hmm.
typically go straight to tactics. And so, what I teach is I teach people how to take a step back. Let's start from the base and talk about what's our why, what's that vision, what is your brand, who really are you before you go out here and try to build websites and say this is my color, have a business card. That's not your brand. Those are the things that enhance your brand, but you have to
Hmm.
start here. Who are you, and what do you want to
Hmm.
project to the world, right? And then think about it, put that vision together. What is that vision, whether it's your personal vision or your business vision? And then say, okay, what's my current state? Where am I today? And then
Hmm.
how do I set that strategy in place that if I do these things and do them well, I can get to that vision? But it's a lot of people out here that have no idea. So what happens They get excited, right? You get this idea, you go out here and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Your friends and
Mm-hmm.
family are around you initially, so you might sell 100 candles. Boy, you are rocking and rolling. Then you're on Facebook. Then you start spending ad money, and you can't figure out why nothing's
Oh, boy.
converting. Well, you haven't really taken the time to go through the brand amplification process. It's a process. It's not an overnight
Mm-hmm.
sensation, and you have to just kind of walk people back a little bit and ask some of the difficult questions, and then that's when they are like, oh, wow, this is hard.
It is. It is.
But
Yeah, it is.
necessary, necessary.
Very, very, very necessary. It's so funny. It's because I remember talking to someone not too long ago. We started talking about. She was like, "Well, what was wrong with that logo?" I said, "Girl, I was mad. It was a bad time. I got mad at some folks, and I just wanted to change my logo." She's like, "No, what's not wrong with that logo?"
There should be intention behind it all. The logos, the colors you select, why you're selecting them, who's your customer, what are you trying to project to them? You know? That's
Yeah,
funny.
so that's why I'm so grateful that there are individuals such as yourself, Yolanda, out there. I remember a good friend of mine, Jackie, when I started doing Hope 17 years ago. I remember her asking. I was just trying to get writers because I didn't know. Like I said, I had no clue what I was doing, and I was just out there. And I remember emailing her. I'm sure she doesn't mind me saying it was Jackie Martin, but I remember emailing her and saying, "Hi, I would like for you to write for the magazine." And I remember her asking me, like, "Well, I need to see your business plan." I'm like, "Well, what does she need to see my business plan for?" I didn't have none, but she wanted to see all my plans. What are your goals and what are your vision? Where do you want to see yourself in 3 to 5 years? And I'm like, I had no clue. But what that did, that conversation, it allowed me to start thinking. I'm like, well, I do need these things. And although those what she was saying to me was foreign, I had no clue what. I was like, I had never heard of anything of the sort. But it allowed me to really tap into, the Google space and to start doing some research. And that's like, I do need those things. We do need to learn how to position ourselves and who am I, because again, like I said, with Hope, I put the cart before the horse. I put the magazine in front instead of putting Angelia or Angie in front, and to brand um who I was, because I like to be in the back, because I'm just like, nope, I'm not polished enough. I can think of everything, all these
Every
reasons,
excuse. Yeah.
every excuse. But when, even to this day, for 17 years, my team they'll tell you today, you get most all the analytics, all the likes, and all the love is towards you. So yeah.
Yes. And it's okay. Not everybody's an extrovert, right? So
Hmm.
it's a process, but look at you 17 years later and look at
Thank you.
you. I'm so
Hmm.
proud. I mean, I was that person going, who is Hope Magazine? Who is Hope? I'm thinking that was your name. Where is she? I need to meet her. I mean, because you're doing some great things in the community, in the city, and that couldn't happen without some branding. And so
Hmm.
it's a process, it's an evolution. And I say to people often, there's two ways to have success, right? Trial and
Hmm.
error, and you
Oh.
just try it and make the mistakes till you get it right. Or you
Hmm.
align yourself with good coaches and mentors, people who have been there, have paved the way,
Oh,
have made
so
the
important.
mistakes for you, and that allows you to go further, faster. That's huge. That's huge.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
at the end of the day, that's why we're here on the show, helping people to understand you may be missing something in your business and not quite sure what it is. Well, we know one thing for sure: you got to have a brand. Number two, you must have a strategic roadmap. And
We
number
do.
three, you have to have people to come alongside you. There's no I in team. I can't do it
Hmm.
by myself. You don't do it by yourself. I mean, we need strong people around us to help us where we may be weak. I mean, you don't expect
Exactly.
to know it all, but put the right support system around you. As I call it, my tribe. I got my tribe. My tribe's on the
Hmm.
call. I see names coming across. My tribe is here. So, I appreciate it because I know that with them and God first, all things are possible.
That's
So,
right.
yep, we just learn together.
That's awesome. That's
Definitely.
awesome. Let me see what we got here. You also specialize as a certified diversity, equity, and inclusion communicator who
Mhm,
coaches corporate professionals and entrepreneurs to develop and master a powerful brand signature.
mhm.
As a small business or even startup, how can we recognize what is our brand signature or work towards developing the signature? That was a lot in that question. So if you want to break it down, and I
Yeah,
am excited because I am in the process of getting my certification. So I just cannot wait. Whew,
yeah.
that was a process.
It is
That
a
was a long
process.
process.
We are lifelong learners first and foremost, so you never stop learning, and if you always remain curious you can get into things. So I work in the corporate sector as well, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. But I am the senior director of culture communications. So I lead a team that is responsible for communications in that DEI space, and I
Wow.
felt like I could not lead a team effectively if I didn't understand it and if I didn't try to master some of that. So really trying to get in and get key learnings and understand what is it to really speak in an inclusive way? What does inclusive language mean? Why is that important? And when you really
Mhm.
think about who we are and all the different people that make up the world, it's important that we make everyone feel as though they belong. So that's where the DEI certification comes from. But you think about that, it helps you to communicate in any realm. So as we think about the business aspect of it and really helping individuals, one of the key things that I do is I help them to craft their brand statement. That's what I call your brand signature. And that's
Mhm.
the statement, like an elevator pitch, if you will. But one of the key distinctions is most elevator pitches will have your job title. I don't believe you're your job title. I don't subscribe to that.
Mhm.
Job titles
Mhm.
come and go. And then what
Yes, I
happens
do.
when they go away? You end up in look in my office talking about I don't know who I am. I don't know how to
Mhm.
say what I do. I don't know me anymore because you've aligned so hard to that job title
For that
that
title.
you've lost yourself. And so instead, I encourage people to align to their ownable assets. What are those things that you do extremely well? What are your superpowers? And how can you help to articulate that value that you bring to other people? When you can do that and do that well, you start to build that brand. They start to know who you are, and then they can
Mhm.
tap you on the shoulder for the things that you do well versus you always having to go try to find the job or apply for the job. How about having somebody tap you on the shoulder and say, we got a job for you? Maybe one
That's
that
right.
doesn't even exist yet. That's the
Yeah.
power of understanding how to use your brand.
Oh, that's awesome. I hope you ladies are taking a lot of notes because I tell you what, this is amazing. This is great. I mean, and again, this is fabulous. Okay, let's see.
And
What
make sure you
services?
share it. Yeah, share it out.
Yes, share this information. Share and again, have this information shared so that people know that it is so essential and so important to be able to have a brand strategist and a good a coach and a good tribe. People that's going to really speak truth. That's a whole different conversation. Is to
That's
even
a
how
good
to
one,
find
Kingo.
to how to
Yes.
find them. Okay,
Yes,
that's
yes.
another conversation.
Don't need a bunch
Okay,
of yes people around you. That's not going to help
that's
you
right.
grow at
It's
all.
not going to have. You need people that's going to speak the truth to you.
There you go.
Absolutely. Is it a good idea or necessary to rebrand? And how often should a company rebrand? That's always because we often think because it's like, oh, is it time to well, because you see that a lot on in the social media age. You see everybody had to have a refresh on the website, and it's kind of like you just get tired of the paint or whatever.
Yeah.
But how often should we do the rebrand?
See, so that's interesting. There's one thing to enhance and update your brand. Does that mean you're really rebranding? Now, if you're
Hmm.
rebranding, that means what you stand for, you're sort of, and how you want to project to the world, you're changing that. And typically, once we get our brand and we stand in our truth and understand what the brand is, you evolve it. I wouldn't say
Right.
necessarily rebrand. You can refresh, but you evolve it. And so as
Right.
we change, as our priorities shift, we can evolve our brand. But it shouldn't go so far out of the way till today your brand was this and all of a sudden you're somebody totally different. I mean, because when we talk about business brand, personal brand, unless you are at the status of a Nike, a Apple, those
Mm-hmm.
recognizable brands from that standpoint, a great deal of your brand is relying on you as the
Mm-hmm.
individual. So while you want to sit in the back, the truth of the matter is that the brand is relying on you, who you are, and the trust that you've been able to build with the community. That's what people rely on. So
Mm-hmm.
hope is an extension of you. And as
Mm-hmm.
you think about rebranding, it's like anything else. We do want to stay current. We do want to stay attractive and fresh, right? So that's where the new
Mm-hmm.
paint a coat comes from. That may be where we add a little zip of a color if we see
Mm-hmm.
something we like and if it has some meaning to it from that standpoint. So there's no time frame on how you rebrand because I don't think Nike's changed that swoosh. Apple hadn't
It's been the
changed that
same.
out. Do you see what I'm saying?
Same the same.
If,
It stayed the same.
if it's working, if it's fixed, don't break
If
it
it
just
ain't
to break it because there's no time
exactly.
on it. But if you're evolving into other things and something else and you feel like you need to be able to call that out, have it stand out, be able to articulate it more succinctly and have that level of clarity, then that's another story. Definitely.
I love that because I think the key what you said is how we evolve. Because
Yes.
I have watched my brand
Evolve.
evolve. It's just like I'm still the same, but I've
Yes.
grown. In 17 years, you just start you can kind of shift and say, okay, ladies, we go. Because here's the thing: when I started Hope, I was 35, and and all these years later, I'm evolving into this different. Well, I'm
Yeah.
going through menopause, having hot flashes, and see, just a whole conversation. When I was 35, as a mother, young mother, then like all my kids are grown and they went to college or they
Yes.
left
Yeah.
me, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
what in the world? So that's how we evolve in our brand. So our conversation at Hope is still the same, but we could talk different about, kind of what we're experiencing at that
You get
moment.
different experiences, you've grown, you think about that. So even the topics
Mm-hmm.
can sort of evolve, that sort of thing. And think about it, every now and then we do need a little facelift. McDonald's did a facelift, but they're still McDonald's. Remember
They
when they
still
went
make
and
them.
redid Taco Bell did a facelift, remember, but it's still
Mm-hmm.
Taco Bell. I mean, but they
Mm-hmm.
look a little different, kind of, get with the times. You don't want to look 1950s and we're into the 2000s. So that part is really just doing that refresh so that the look stays current, the look stays nice and pleasing and aesthetically good to the eyeballs, right? Because at the end of the day, we
Mm-hmm.
still are physical people. We like to look at things and we like what we see. Yeah, we're
Mm-hmm.
attracted to what
And
we see.
and sometimes I have seen people's brands. I mean, they have a lot of people, and they haven't shifted, but it's just like the message is so strong
Yes.
and that it's so authentic. They don't have to change anything. It's just like, cause seriously, I'm sure all of us have seen people's website. It's like, well, they haven't did anything, but
Mm,
they still are still growing, but they
yep.
still have all the tools and resources that are allowing people
Yeah.
their brand to develop
Yeah.
individuals. So yeah,
Latham said it good. He said you got to stay relevant, and that's so true because
it's true.
if we don't stay with the trends, think about technology, for example. I mean, that's one of those things we continually have to
Hmm.
evolve there. So, perhaps 17 years ago, you were communicating to people in a very different way. Now we sitting up here
Hmm.
live streaming. Who would have thought? You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Exactly.
It all fits in and it all just means how do we stay there so that we can meet our audience where our audience is and our audience
Exactly.
can see us as the people that they've come to trust, and that part remains very consistent, right? But what
Hmm.
changes sometimes are the aesthetics of how we do it, the topics that we deliver, because we're evolving, we're growing. I'm not interested in talking about yum yums and jumping jacks today. I'm over here
Ex-
talking about more different topics. Like you said, there may be
Exactly.
self-care, wellness. How do we
Yeah.
prioritize things in our life? Time management. Those are things that are
Mhm.
more important to me today. So
Exactly. It's like going to bed, getting 8 hours of sleep. It's like that's very
back
important.
then we could care less if we slept,
When I
Definitely.
started, I was up all night long. I was like,
Yep.
okay, I got to go to bed.
Yep. Yep.
You do. Tell me, what services does Branding for Success LLC offer businesses and corporations?
Yes. So basically, I bucket it into 4 tiers. I have online offerings, a professional development course around build you, break barriers. I have a personal branding course. So those are my online offerings. Of course, I have a book, Reputation to Reward. And then I have my one-on-one coaching, which is primarily my quick start program, which is you can build a brand within 45 days, is for corporate professionals. And then I do entrepreneurial coaching, and that's 3, 6, 12-month packages. And so I customize those to meet the needs where they are, because I can work with someone just starting a business to those looking to scale a business. So it really depends on where you are, and I meet you there. And just because I do have such extensive experience in the corporate arena in strategy, business development, marketing, it really helps to be able to get somebody like me as a thought partner to really help you strategically line those things up. I do public speaking, so I speak all over the country. As a matter of fact, I'm excited. One of my dreams and goals was to go international, and I was invited to speak internationally. So I'm going to Paris in March to
Yay.
speak internationally. Thank
Congratulations.
you, thank you,
Yes,
thank
that's
you. So,
awesome.
yeah,
Take
really.
plenty pictures.
Yeah, yeah, really excited about that. And then I work with corporations and organizations to bring professional development workshops and trainings into their organization to help employees who are they're looking to upskill them. They're looking to just kind of pour into them and invest in them and show them that they're valued, looking to engage and retain that top talent. So I work with them, do some leadership training. So it's really exciting. I mean, it's kind of a tiered approach. It all kind of comes together, but it's just the different ways in which I'm able to deliver it.
That's awesome. That's wonderful. Your bio indicates this is well, I want to go back to this question. Your bio indicates that you received global recognition as the 2022 Brand Analyst of the Year and was named by Inc. magazine as one of the most admired women in business in 2022. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, those were distinctions, that those were ones. And what makes them even more exciting is that's not a pay to play, right? Those,
Mhm.
you had to be nominated. They looked into your background to see what you were doing. So it was really exciting to be recognized that way. But the reality is my greatest satisfaction comes from seeing people implement the tools and resources and the things that I share with them and how I guide them through the process, and to see them have the success. That to
That's
me is
wonderful.
the greatest satisfaction. That's what I do this for, is to really help to elevate other people so that they can get to that next level, remove those fears, right? Those limiting
Mhm.
beliefs. We get all that crap out of the way, because a lot of times you can do whatever you want to do most of the time.
Mhm.
You just have to believe in
Mhm.
yourself and doing it. And the thing that I tell people often is what keeps you from the success that you desire is the story that you tell yourself. The head is
That's
so
true.
powerful. So
Very powerful.
yes, yes.
That I think that's so important. I think you shared earlier how important your tribe is. It's important. When I tell you, it's important to who you are surrounded by and who's pouring into you.
That's
That's
huge.
very that
You know,
that is huge.
they say you
Family.
become the 5 people you hang around the most.
Hmm.
And if you think about that, that's powerful. And if you're the one always pouring into other people and
Hmm.
nobody's pouring into you, then that leaves you right there with the 5 mediocre people. You got 5 mediocre people, you become the 6. You got 5 people who are progressive, growth mindset, doing things, you become the 6. You got 5 millionaires, you can definitely become the 6. So I tell
Hmm.
people all the time, it doesn't mean you throw away your lifelong friends. I tell them, don't throw the people away with the bathwater. That's not what this means. What this
That's
means is
right.
that you have to make your core group, that group of people that's going to help elevate you to where you desire to go. And so it's
Mhm.
iron sharpens iron, right? So getting
Mhm.
around
Mhm.
like-minded people.
I love Mia here. Mia Jones said it, a diverse tribe too. It's important, like you said, have a diverse tribe of
That's right.
people. So you got people who pour in for various reasons. So yeah.
Yes. Yes. And
Mhm.
that's diversity from thought, right? Experiences, culture, races, all of it.
Mhm.
All of it
Mhm.
matters. Definitely. That's
Mhm.
a good one. Yes.
I love it. In a time where most businesses has transitioned to online and digital platform, has this created a greater opportunity for global recognition for brands? What do you? I know that, but I just want you to elaborate.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I mean,
the answer to that is yes.
if you not taking advantage of, look at this. I mean, wow,
Yeah.
really. Let me to think about how many people who I'm gonna let you share, Yolanda. But think about all the people that we love that are comedians, singers. Look at how the opportunities people became, that took, sometimes look at different Eddie Murphy, different ones will talk about how, their journey, Dave Chappelle, their journey starting from the comedy clubs. But you have social media, you have a whole YouTube, everything.
I say this, I'm telling you, it's just a good thing it wasn't around 25 years ago, because
Hmm.
we would be blowing up all the way to the top. And still, as seasoned professionals, we are taking advantage of this technology. I tell
Hmm.
people right now, one of the five essential steps to a personal brand is creating a positive digital footprint. We are in an explosive era of technology. And if you are not able to be online, we're missing the boat. Now, the key to that is that you have to be consistent. The way you act offline needs to definitely be consistent with how you act online. So you can't run around here
Hmm.
all professional offline and then get online and be ratchet, right? That's
That's
not going
right.
to
That's
work.
not a.
No, because that's where we start to create brand confusion. But the reality is the opportunity is so great that we can now get online and be visible to the masses. And when
Hmm.
I started doing this, and I tell people all the time, there's nothing special about me. It's about consistency and action. When I made up my mind, I wanted to be recognized as a brand expert. I put the work in. I started adding value. I posted, I connected, I, liked other people. I commented on others. I, wanted to see myself as an influencer. So I bought in influencers into my circle. And it's just
Hmm.
amazing that how over time takes a minute, but once that momentum comes, you go from really trying to make a lot of connections with people to people wanting to connect with you.
Makes a big difference.
That's
Make
right.
a big
And that
difference.
and that means your brand is being reflective of what you want it to be online and offline.
Wow. I think that's what when they say opportunities are endless.
Yes.
You can just. My girlfriend's telling me, Angie, you cook, so you need to start cooking and showing videos and stuff. I said, yeah, I do, and I'm like, but last week I posted about my cookies, and I was like, now, okay, now wait, now I got all these orders.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, this TikTok phase and craze, or should I say craze? I mean, it's a lot of things you can do out there. And I'm telling you, I have really boned up my knowledge level watching some of this. I mean, you talk
Oh,
about
I love it.
credit and how to build wealth and legacy and things like this.
Everything.
It's all out there
It's
now.
right at our finger. At our fingertips.
Yes.
It's incredible. It is
Yes.
really incredible.
You can know it all.
Yes.
Definitely.
So, do you offer personal one-on-one or group services for individuals not yet in business, or do they need to actually have a business?
Well, no, I offer it for them too, but I mean, there has to be a reason for them to really be thinking about what they want to do, right? So
Okay.
you either have to be wanting to advance your career in the industry in which you're in, and we want to build a brand. So yes, there are services for that. That was like when I shared about the Quick Start program. But the other coaching programs are for individuals who are either starting, thinking about starting, really want some thought leadership. I mean, I had a client, I'll just tell you that it's such diversity. Her thing was help me build my brand. I want to be on paid boards. And so we literally worked together, and lo and behold, she got a board out, a board membership out of that. but it's up to you what the reward is you're trying to achieve. My goal is to help you get there, to think strategically about it, to put your brand where it needs to be so that you're saying and you're articulating, you're putting out there what you want to attract from people, you know, in terms of that. So the bottom line is it's up to you. I mean, people have different desires for different things. And so she was perfectly fine as an entrepreneur. She said, I don't need that. I need you to help me figure out how I can get this brand out here, get aboard. So it was getting in the right rooms, because what? Connection is the new currency. And it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you.
Exactly. That is so true. When I say me and my girlfriend talk about that all the time. She's like, Angelia, you have to be in the room. You got to get out there.
Yes.
People need to know you. And I tell you, it has made a big difference.
Yes, it does. Yes, it is. It is.
You have some exciting plans for 2023. Share with our audience how your year is already shaping up, and you share a few things, and where you're planning to be internationally speaking invite. So share a little bit about that experience about in Paris.
So there's a lot going on right now. So today you guys are hearing
it. You can brag. Sometimes we just need to take a moment and just, this is your moment. This share it.
Yes.
You've earned it.
You're right. You're right. I tell people it does take work. Let's be honest. Action and consistency equals success. There's no question about it.
And then when we get there, then we want to be all shy and quiet. No, you've worked hard for it. Share it.
I don't mind telling it, because that's part of the brand. but hot off the press today, I will just say that I pushed the button and I am actually retiring from my corporate job so that I can become a full-time entrepreneur. And I'm so excited about that, because that will give me the opportunity to really pour my passion into the work that I love doing. And so that part right there is exciting. So as of January the 31st, I will be a full-time entrepreneur. So
congratulations.
As of this morning.
That's amazing. Really
hot off the press. And that was a hard thing to do, right? Because how do you let go of that security blanket in a way? How do you finally pull away? But I will tell you, when that time comes, the feeling, the tensions that start to happen, and you just have to have faith. And Les Brown is one of those that'll tell you leap and catch your wings on the way down. But this year started off great. I've got several partnerships lined up. I'm excited. I will be going international and speaking at the WIN conference in Paris, France. I'll be at, I'm a big fan of Grant Cardone, so I'm a big 10Xer. So I'm going out to the Growth Con in Vegas next month. But I'm excited. I'm doing a partnership with a young lady who has a company called Empowered Women Empower. And I'll be speaking on her stage with the former supermodel Beverly Johnson. So that is awesome. Yes, that's absolutely exciting. My girlfriend, who is an event planner, her name is Tasha Robinson White. She is actually invited me to come speak at the Wealth Mindset Conference in Vegas. So there's lots of things lined up. I still have my coaching clients. Look forward to working more in the corporate sector, because I know that there I can hit the masses. And it's so important that, particularly in some of these employee resource groups, that we help minorities to really understand what is it that you need to navigate this terrain. Corporate America can be a beast. How do you navigate that? What does that look like? How do you speak up for yourself? Because sometimes you realize, from a cultural perspective, we are told, work hard, put your head down, and they'll notice you. Well, that's kind of the old way of doing things. It doesn't happen that way. You've got to let people understand what you're interested in, and you need to use your voice to help people really make sure that you can be seen and recognized for those things that you do well. So hopefully more of that to come. And I just need a week to do nothing. I need to woosah. So but there is a new book in the works. How to Be a Quitter and Win is the title.
Okay. Yeah. When do we have an anticipated date yet?
It's probably not yet, but I'm going to say that's probably going to fall more into the fall fourth quarter. because
Okay.
I've got some other things I need to do first. But I think sometimes we feel like we're told, don't give up, don't quit, don't stop, keep on. And the truth of the matter is we need to quit a whole lot of stuff. Think
Yes.
about it.
We
Some
need to
things
take a
just
break.
don't serve us, and we need to quit. And you can actually quit things and position yourself to really be in a winning position. So I want to write a little bit about that to encourage people to know that you just don't have to hold on to everything. It is
That's
okay,
true.
and people shouldn't fear someone looking down on them for quitting something.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
today was a day I just quit. I'm done.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I like that. I've quit a few things and it has really and focused and honed in what I need to focus, and it
Yes,
has really been so. I feel like with this
yes,
like a whole this like so much has just been this, yeah.
definitely. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Yes, exciting
How
time.
can I tell us how well you talked about your book? So how can we get your book, your
Okay.
current book? And then how can our audience connect with you? I definitely would love for we could talk offline, but I definitely would love to have you be we interviewed you and you're part of the winter issue. But I
Yes.
definitely think that we would love to have you as a guest to share some tips with our readers online. And then definitely have to have you come back so we can have a part two. This can just keep going on, you
It
know.
can keep going on, definitely. Well, they can contact me at branding4, that's the number 4, success.com. That's my website. You can get the book off the website. You can fill out the contact me form. Let me know what you're interested in, and I'll get back with you and schedule a free discovery call. Definitely link up with me. Or if you want to contact me directly, info@brandingforsuccess.com. Then you have an opportunity to please, hit me up on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. I like to constantly put things of encouragement, add value out there so that people can constantly, be fed. I like to feed people, and keep them encouraged and keep positivity in their lives and try to just stuff those demons and that negative self-talk and so forth to help people just
Mhm,
really move toward their dreams and operate on
mhm.
a different frequency. So those are
That's
the things.
wonderful.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And again, for those of you that are watching, what's very important is reach out to Yolanda, um, get you a good success and a good branding, someone that can partner with you to really help you hone in on your vision and
Yep.
so that you don't experience burnout, and that's something that often we do sometimes, as
Yes.
we have little resources and we don't know where to connect, but what I have learned in the 17 years is how essential it is to have someone that's a strategist and a branding expert in my life, and to evolve and to kind of rework some things so that you can have a clear vision. We have to have a vision. We have to have a point of direction, because I remember the first thing someone told me when I started doing Hope 17 years ago. They said you can go this way, or this kind of go the different directions, or you can go through the jungle with a weed whacker. So long I operated like that because I didn't
Yeah.
know. Just when you know better, we do better. And so I'm really fortunate. I'm blessed to have individuals such as yourself, that I was able to connect with, that you attended the luncheon last year.
Yes.
And I'm like, really looking forward to developing a stronger relationship with you so that you
Yes.
can work with us, and
Yes.
continue to develop the whole brand. So yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on here. It's been such an honor. And, I don't take it lightly. I think we're here to empower and uplift others. And every day
Mhm.
we wake up, if we have positivity in our mind, kindness in our hearts, we can go a long way together.
I
Yeah.
think so. I thank you. I thank everyone for all the amazing individuals that joined us tonight, that I think are from your group and your followers. So I appreciate all of them for joining and being connected. I think that's a blessing. And I'm really happy for the Hope readers, or those that are attending tonight, that's watching. And so I definitely know, I hope you took a lot of notes and everything, But we're going to be doing this weekly. This is a part of me coming out and with my brand is and
Hey,
so
it's
this has
okay.
really been fun. This has really been fun because I was like, this is who I am. So, it's really good to be able to have chats with individuals such as you, Yolanda, and I'm looking forward to growing and being able to share and empower other women. So, amen. So,
Yep. Thank you.
thank
Appreciate
you
it.
so much. Thank you so
Yes.
much. Thanks, everyone. Again,